it's not a game, it's personal. I mean, I was at the Capitol when people were attacking it. I remember locking myself in the Cannon office. I remember my wife's phone call in the afternoon saying the Capitol is under attack. Are you safe? And being in the room until midnight and then having Nancy Pelosi call us at 1 a.m. to go vote for democracy and seeing Mike Pence there. And what Jack Smith is going to tell the country is it wasn't just a group of people who led an insurrection. It was Donald Trump who ordered systematically for months with people at the Justice Department the overthrow attempt of our constitutional government. That story needs to be told. It needs to be told again and again and again. And good for Jack Smith for having the courage to do that.
The president today was at Davos. He said a lot of things. I will just note he did confuse Greenland and Iceland and
4 times.
4 times. And so I'm just wondering. And then when the White House, when asked to clarify, they say, well, he just was renaming Greenland. And that, baby, that to me is like the emperor has no clothes.
Ordinary to be a gaffe, but now it could actually mean who we're going to bomb.
Come
right?
on now. Like, we might want to get it right. We might want to get it right. I want to know if the president knows what he's talking about. But he also, at Davos, because this was on the topic, I'm being facetious, it was not, he talked about the 2020 election. This is what he had to say.
It was a rigged election. Everybody now knows that. They found out. People will soon be prosecuted for what they did.
1, the election was not rigged. 2, everybody knows the election was not rigged. 3, who do you believe the they is that found out? And 4, do you have any response to the president's assertion that people will soon be prosecuted for what they did in 2020? I will note the president faced 4 charges stemming from Jack Smith's probe. 2 of them about conspiracy, 3 about conspiracy, 1 about obstruction.
Well, the president is being Orwellian. I mean, he's the one who needs to be prosecuted, and he's deflecting. But I don't think he understands how much damage he's doing to America and the world. I don't think people in this country understand it. Mark Carney, the Canadian Prime Minister, gave a speech basically saying Donald Trump has destroyed the world order. He has destroyed everything that the world has built since post-World War II, because he's in a world where there is no truth, where might makes right, where Donald Trump, as the president, can tell blatant lies about elections and everyone just politely listens because he's the president of the United States and he has the biggest military. And what Carney did is he invoked Václav Havel, that we're living in a lie. But the lie isn't authoritarian communism. The lie is the arrogance of America. I was ashamed for my country. And what Donald Trump is doing is destroying what people scaled the cliffs of Normandy to build, and it's shameful.
But do you believe that he is going to prosecute people? And I ask because he's prosecuted everyone else that he's put on his list, and now he's saying people will soon be prosecuted for what they did.
I do. Look, I mean, Jack Smith is at risk. People who went after him in terms of FBI agents or justice officials who actually investigated are at risk. He's prosecuting or investigating people like Alyssa Slotkin, like Mark Kelly. I mean, this is a president who is out for retribution and vengeance. And by the way, Susie Wiles admits it. She says, yes, the deal was he'd only do retribution for the first bit and then he'd move on. But, you know, he's not hiding it. He told people he would engage in retribution. The country voted for him to be president, and now he's engaged in retribution. What did we expect?
Well, and at the same time, you have his lawyers asking Judge Eileen Cannon to bar current, former, and future DOJ officials from releasing Volume 2 of Jack Smith's final report. So to get this straight, the self-proclaimed most transparent administration in history, the full screen went up, so I want to make sure that everybody saw the air quotations there. They won't release the Epstein files. They don't want to release Volume 2 of Jack Smith's report. What else are they hiding?
Well, they're certainly hiding the Epstein files. I mean, the Justice Department went into court and said, you can't force us to give up any of these files. And Donald Trump knows that it's in the popular culture. He knows that people are upset that he's protecting pedophiles. They're hiding the fact that he took classified documents and they don't want to remind people that Hegseth is leaking classified documents on Signal chats. I mean, they understand that the trust, even if the MAGA base is breaking, and they're scrambling to just stay alive.
So you've got all of those pieces that are in play right now, and then you've also got what happened in the House today. The House panel voted to hold the Clintons in contempt in the Epstein investigation. Leader Jeffries apparently pushed oversight members to vote no. Pressed hard on that. You did not vote to hold the Clintons in contempt, but 9 Democrats voted to hold Bill Clinton in contempt. 3 voted to hold Hillary Clinton in contempt. Talk about that vote. Talk about what comes next. And how is this being received in among rank and file Democrats out there?
Well, first of all, Leader Jeffries never asked me how to vote, nor did anyone on his staff ever ask me how to vote. So I was told you vote your conscience. But the idea that we're holding the Clintons in contempt and didn't hold Pam Bondi in contempt is absurd. What I have said is release all the files. That's what we want. Pam Bondi is the one who should be held in contempt to release the files. The Clintons should come and testify. Absolutely, they should testify. And if they don't testify after the files are released, fine, move for contempt then. But to move for contempt now, when we're not holding the people who should release the files in contempt, is total political theater. And it's Comer trying to deflect from a flailing Justice Department and administration and just try to blame the Clintons.
Well, I just want to put on the table, as I want to do, that I think it's important for people to understand that the President of the United States, one Donald J. Trump, then a Democrat, spent as much time, if not more time, with Mr. Epstein than Bill Clinton. So if you go on after Clinton, all the more reason, Mr. President, to release the files, because your name all up in there, just like Bill Clinton. So you got him on the hook. Why not him?
Where's the subpoena for Trump? If you're going to have Clinton, how about have Trump right next to him?
You know, when Republican members of Congress are asked about that by journalists and folks on the Hill, they often say, I heard Nancy Mace say it today. I believe I was listening to NPR. She's like, oh, well, the president has never been implicated in that way like that. And as someone that has seen the documents and that has some, you know, information that, frankly, we are not privy to, because I know you've spoken to the survivors and whatnot, is that an accurate representation of the president's, how he shows up in the Epstein files?
There are 13,000 mentions of him in the files. He lied to the American people that he had never been on Epstein's plane. All of 2024, he lied about it. Turns out he was on Epstein's plane. There's certainly far more evidence of him in the files than there is of President Clinton in the files. And the fact that Comer is going after someone who was president when I was in college and isn't going after Pam Bondi and isn't going after Donald Trump for answers, I mean, what does he think? That the people are stupid? They're not. They will see through this. And they are seeing through this. And he is losing part of the MAGA base. I mean, he's losing Sean Ryan, a podcast. I was on Sean Ryan's podcast. He said, the only reason I was for Trump is because he was going to release the files. He's not releasing the files. He's protecting pedophiles.